On a timeline of key court cases involving the president dating all the way back to 2005. All right, we start there. Shabir Sheikh convicted on charges including bribing Jacob Zuma, not then president. President Thabo Mbeki fires Zuma as his deputy. Then, of course, we have the Supreme Court of Appeal overturning another ruling, basically clearing the way for Jacob Zuma to be prosecuted. But the National Prosecuting Authority dropped the case because of the spy tape, suggesting that there was timing around the prosecution. The NPA as head Mokotedi Mshe then announced in 2009 it was neither possible nor desirable for the NPA to continue with the prosecution of Mr. Zuma at the time.
All right, that was 2009. Fast forward to 2013. At the end of that year, the state filed a court order to prevent Public Protector Thuli Madonsela from releasing her report on Nkandla. And just days later, security ministers abandoned their bid to stop Public Protector Thuli Madonsela from releasing her draft report on the Nkandla update. Mid-November of 2013, the state agreed to pay Public Protector Thuli Madonsela's costs following its bid to prevent her from releasing a draft report into the Nkandla upgrade.
And then, of course, 2014, Thuli Madonsela releases her report into Nkandla. All right, so we continue. The North Gauteng High Court hears an urgent application by the ANC to stop the DA from sending out an SMS accusing President Jacob Zuma of stealing public money. That went to court. The DA wins its case on the basis that the SMS was fair comment.
2014, after many court challenges, counter-challenges and appeals, the DA takes delivery of spy tapes and again starts gearing up to challenge the dropping of charges against Jacob Zuma. And that brings us to March of 2016, where in a constitutional court judgment, Chief Justice Mogoeng Mogoeng said that President Zuma failed to uphold, defend and respect the Constitution as a supreme law of the land by not complying with the Public Protector's report on the upgrades at his Nkandla home.
So remember earlier, the Prosecutions Authority declined to prosecute in April 2016, a full bench of the High Court declaring that that decision was irrational, inexplicable, overturning that decision.
And still in 2016, the High Court in Pretoria dismissed the NPA's leave to appeal its judgment that the decision to drop charges against President Zuma was irrational, and a full bench at the time ruled that the appeal did not have much chance of success.
October, after a hearing behind closed doors, the Supreme Court decided that they wanted Jacob Zuma's lawyers to argue in open court for the right to appeal. September 2017, President Zuma concedes the decision to withdraw his corruption charges was irrational. So a lot of court cases in the run-up to that stunning concession from his own lawyer. October this year, the Supreme Court of Appeal upholds the ruling of the Gauteng High Court that the National Prosecuting Authority's decision to drop those charges was irrational.
And then this month, Judge President Dunstan Mlambo of the North Gauteng High Court makes several judgments, actually. Mlambo further rules that it would not be just for the former prosecution's boss, Mxolisi Nxasana, to be reinstated, and that due to his pending corruption case, President Zuma was conflicted in appointing a new NDPP, and he gave this duty to the Deputy President.
Getting to the end, Sean Abrahams gives President Zuma until the 31st of January, of course, extending the timeline for him to say why he should not be prosecuted on those myriad of charges of corruption.
And President Zuma, of course, today lost his case to set aside the remedial action as recommended by the former Public Protector in her State of Capture report. And sort of groundbreaking is that the President is ordered to foot his own costs for the case. And the courts found that Zuma must institute a commission of inquiry of state capture within 30 days. And that itself will have to come up with a finding within 180 days, which is 6 months after the commission is. And it has to be properly resourced as well, because they were complaining about money and resources to do the job properly.
All right.